Haena Beach is a beautiful yet dangerous beach located in KL. The lagoon has only one exit for the water. And when the high tide comes over, there's tons of water coming in and there's only one way to go out. And so it turns that one way into a river. The beach has no lifeguards and it's very remote. It takes us a while to get there.
And so as we were being dispatched, we kind of knew that it could be a serious call, being that we've been to Haena multiple times for the same reason.
Driving down there takes us a little while. Of course, we're always hoping for the best, but prepared for the worst.
On the way down, we were kind of conversing and talking about how we're going to set up an LZ and stuff.
That day, there was a brush fire going on up on DKI Highway.
Generally, when Chopper 1 is responding, they arrive earlier than we do. So a lot of the times when we get there, the patient is already out of the water.
The chopper wasn't there at the time because they were at the brush fire. So they had a delayed response. They were heading, but they were going to be a little while.
At that moment, I kind of understood that I would have to be entering the water.
We were told that 4 people had been swept out to sea.
It was a dad and both his sons. And we had a bystander, a female, that was out there trying to help also. And so the dad was able to hang on to one of his sons. It was a super high tide that day also. So they were just right there next to the shoreline. And I believe they just got swept off their feet and just got swept out.
We had a visual on 3 of them, 300 to 500 yards offshore. The residents at Shipman Beach had an old paddle board.
We were able to find some board. It's a makeshift board that's not really even it used to be a surfboard, but there's no grip on it. There's no fins on the board. It's just found on the beach, and I use that to make it through the breaks.
Keone paddled out to them. Luckily, he got there when he did. The father was completely exhausted. He was ready to go underwater, could barely keep his head above water, and was clinging to his son.
Keone told me that the father kind of had a desperate look in his eyes and was just devastated that he lost his other son.
He was definitely struggling. You could see he was in distress, and the child was unresponsive. After getting the young male onto the board, I instructed the older male and female to assist me by holding onto the board and aligning me with the shore, just to make sure that as the waves were coming in, we wouldn't be knocked over. And I started CPR on the young male.
When I got down to the shore, I immediately threw on my gear, was debriefed by Company 5 as quickly as possible as I was going down to the beach. And I was able to make it out and assist Keone, and because I had my radio, I was able to communicate what we had, what we're going to do, and what we needed to other personnel.
And then we got notified via radio from him that there was a CPR in progress. Went back to Medic 5 to the landing zone to set up and prepare.
At the time, with just him, he was doing a great job. He was doing CPR.
And Keone was performing CPR on one of the sons on the board when the chopper came, and was able to load the patient, the son, and the father into the billy punnet and extricate them to the shoreline.
For the next 3 days, they had divers in the water trying to find the individual. Unfortunately, they never found him. It was a really tragic event that happened that day.
If Keone wasn't there, almost 100% they both would have drowned.
Although the outcome wasn't as good as we would have liked it to be, the efforts of all involved that day were exceptional. Keone went above and beyond the call of duty, highly deserving of this award.